Alright, so we're back with another voice recording. This is a really random voice recording. I guess I'm gonna just listen to music on the way back. But anyways, this voice recording, let's talk about some stuff dealing with Evola's theory of the cycles of civilization, right? He talks about how, civilizations go from a spiritually oriented society to a warrior-based oriented society. And they go from a warrior-based oriented society into a bourgeoisie, capitalist, wealth-centered society that we live under now. And then it's going to shift into a worker-based society where a lot of it's just based around worker ideology, sort of like socialism and all that sort of stuff. So with ideologies like that, what can we expect? So, well, let's look at what's happened. So what I've noticed is whenever like a society goes from one stage to another, the rulers of the previous epoch get put under the thumb of the current epoch immediately. You can look at Japan for an example, right? Like with the establishment of the shogunate, which is pretty much the establishment of a warrior aristocracy over the more spiritually centered idea of the divine emperor, right? So what happened? The shogun and, all of these warrior aristocrats immediately overcame the how could you say it? The more so spiritual ideas, the leaders that were put there because of a spiritual underpinning, right? The emperor represents the spiritual power of the nation, okay? That sort of deal. So they overcame that. And then over time, the bourgeoisie element came in, and the overpowering of the warrior aristocracy and the shift towards a bourgeoisie society came with the advent of westernization. Once the Westerners came in. Westernization, what we call Western civilization, is really what created the bourgeoisie society. And, a lot of what we think of as, Western civilization, we immediately attribute to a white culture, to white people. But that's not really what we're talking about here. We're more so talking about a predisposition, people that have a bourgeoisie predisposition. These people are what sort of led to the bourgeoisie society that we led to now, which is kind of a lot less, enjoyable than the warrior society or whatever. Now, with what's going to happen in the future, you're going to have the workers overpower the bourgeoisie, and you're sort of seeing that now with a lot of with the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie is losing power because their money system's out of whack. So what they're doing is that they're sort of using up as many forms of income production as they possibly can. And of course, the number one source of income production within our society is workers. So we have to work more. The problem is that once you sort of realize, once the workers realize, like, oh snap, I'm a resource that they need and that they're not using just out of convenience anymore. Okay, I can overpower them, right? And the bourgeoisie, they're trying to get past that huddle by using machinery. So the workers don't really have to overpower you if the workers aren't there anymore, if it's just machines doing all the work for you. So that's how they're sort of overpowering now. But I don't know. I don't know what might happen. I think it'll be interesting with what will happen in the future. I think what will happen is there's just going to be a whole lot of communities and like bands in the future of people huddling together resources and all that other sorts of crap. But the problem that I think the bourgeoisie is going to have is in the initial beginnings of the sort of like the I guess you can say the new industrial revolution and the underpinnings of that, they're going to see, like, okay, well, I can just replace the workers that work at these fast food joints with machines. It's going to start out like that, but then it's going to start to grow to where everybody's getting replaced with machines. Even a lot of these jobs that these higher ups spent their whole lives occupying, they're going to see that, there's reasoning to replace them with machines, that they have the means and the technology to replace themselves, and they're going to pretty much shoot themselves in the foot with that. That's sort of how, like, these sorts of spiritual centers of power, those more so higher epoch civilizations shot themselves in the foot because they realized that, they've started to fight wars, and who are better at fighting wars, than warriors. So, of course, the warriors are going to become more prized and become more integral than these, quote-unquote spiritual centers of the nation. So the warrior aristocracy came. And then the warrior aristocracy fell because, you realize, okay, we've built up a system now to where we're needing money to fight our wars. So the bourgeoisie are more important. Now the bourgeoisie are realizing that in order for our economy to function, we need workers. But the problem with the whole worker society is you can't really go down anymore. You can't really go down anymore. It's just going to become a society of work, and it's going to become work in itself. And then the only thing that's going to be left is, well, if I'm working, for no reason, then I may as well just do nothing. So it's just going to become a society where people just do nothing all day. You don't want that. But, once people hit that part in the road, the next game plan really is just going to be an elite few individuals that will reroute the cycle back up to the top again. And these people learning the lessons from all the previous epochs, being the descendants of all of these, people from the previous epochs, they're going to learn the lessons from their predecessors and be able to incorporate them into the next stage. So, these are people that, know that they possess a will. These are people that understand that, the world, you need resources within the world. You need a warrior instinct in order to gain things within the world, in order to make yourself stronger. And also you need a community of people, I think, community is what we're going to learn in the new epoch. Even though it's going to be terrible, forming communities is going to be the good thing about it. People are going to realize that you really do need communities. I think people are just going to become way too depressed just being on their phones and being within this technology all the time, to where they're going to have to form communities and form social networks and, face-to-face human emotions just out of necessity. They don't really have any other choice. So I think that will be good in the new age, despite all the other bad things that might come about it. But anyways, this is Jalen. I'm about to get this food, and hopefully it's ready. And also, hopefully it's not too packed. But it's probably going to be packed because there's Wingstop. And, for how long of a wait it was, it probably is going to be packed. But I'm going to get my food, come back inside, listen to some music on the way back, and ride out this Sunday. Hopefully, maybe I might get some ideas. I think I'm going to get my ideas about Confucianism and all that once I get to reading Mencius. I got to reading Confucius Analects today. I'm going to read Mencius stuff, in the coming days. But despite all that, this was Jalen with another voice recording. Peace out.